What's up, folks, and welcome to Indie Ramble. I got another roguelite for you today, and this one's pretty interesting. It pitches itself as a hybrid roguelike shmup. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, I gotta find out what that's about. And it's been interesting, to be sure, and this is something I wanted to show you guys. So this is the Last Sunshine Rekindled. It's apparently either an update or a remake or some such of another game that was just called The Last Sunshine, which I have to admit I've never heard of. And I can't really find any information about either. The developers have said that they included an unsupported copy of the original in the Steam install, but I don't seem to have it for some reason. So, not sure what that's about. But yeah, the idea behind this game is it's themed around the heat death of the universe. Basically, the stars are sentient creatures, and they began the universe and were sort of living happily throughout it, and then a great darkness came, and you are a lone star trying to push back against that and restore light to the galaxy. Kind of an interesting little idea. So there's 6 different stars that you can play as, all of which have different attributes and special abilities, and you level them up individually throughout the course of your runs and unlock additional ones as you go. So I'm going to show you this one. Vega has been the one I've been sort of focusing on the most, but there are advantages to each one in terms of firepower. And it is a roguelite, so stuff is randomly generated. No surprise there. And, well, you're going to see what this is. So you're actually moving through space. And like most roguelites, you will level yourself up as you go and improve your skills and abilities, and you'll have to take on increasingly hard enemies and bosses to progress through the story. Now, the first area, like this, once you get even a few levels under your belt, isn't too bad. The second area completely smoked me. The couple of times I've got there, it's completely smoked me. So if you think this game is easy, yeah, it may seem like that at first, but it sure ain't going to stay that way. So this is going to have the kind of challenge that roguelikes and roguelites are known for. The levels, as I said, are randomly generated, so it's not going to be the same experience twice. And you go through these levels using your different abilities until you can find the portal to the boss. Now, what's interesting is you can go to the boss as soon as you find that, or if you haven't uncovered the entire map yet, you can actually stick behind and go find everything else that's in the level, which can give you additional power-ups, additional I forget what they're called. I think they're called star bits or something, but you see these little stars that are flying towards me. You use those to up the skill tree. It's experience points, effectively. So it can be worth your while to stick around, or if you want to move through things more quickly, you can choose to do that as well. And you can sort of see where the shmup influence comes across here. You know, if things get very bullet helly in spots, and it really does feel like a shmup in some core ways, and that's actually something I find really fascinating about it. I also just like the chill vibe that this has going on. The nice sort of spacey muted color palette, the sort of chill music. I didn't play the intro for you because it's a little bit long, but there's a really nicely voiced intro in this as well that talks about what's happening in the universe and whatnot, and it's really cool, actually. It's got really nice personality to it. So across the levels, you're going to find these things, which are called cosmic bridges. So these allow you to teleport between different points in the level to get around more quickly, and it's also where you unlock additional skills. And as you can see, there's quite the tree here, and this is the passive tree. So these are attributes that you level up, and this is done through runs. Okay, stardust. I said star bits. It's stardust. And you have ones that affect durability, health, endurance, agility, and resolve. And resolve is your shield. So as you step through this, you can see there's different abilities and different stardust costs to them. Sometimes trips between this, you can accumulate a lot of stardust and actually level this up quite a bit. So it doesn't take as long as you might think, but that is per run, so when you die, it's going to reset. At a certain point as well, you're also going to unlock what's called utility skills, which are special abilities that you can assign to your character that are more either defensive or beneficial, like this one here gives you a boost of speed, and you can upgrade those in your run as well. You'll also find throughout the levels different attack skills, and this actually allows you to, some of the characters have multiple different kinds of weapons, and you can choose to change those if you want. You have 2 different types of attacks, and you'll find what are called fusions here, which are things that will up certain attributes of those weapons that you find that you can apply. There's a lot of customization you can do in this. It's pretty cool. And then you can see you can teleport back here, and the map is very good about giving you these little hints about places you haven't been yet. So that's what those little arrows are. So you're not going to get lost in one of these maps. You're not going to be sort of wandering around going, well, where the heck do I go next? It's pretty good about that. Now, one thing you might notice here, and I think this might be a turnoff for some people, fans of both of these genres, is that you'll see that your character moves very, very slowly. So you can speed up your character through different upgrades as you go, either passively so you can get sort of a permanent speed boost, at least over the course of your run, or you can get power-ups that will give you a little boost of speed. So this here is actually a mini-boss. This is not the real boss. There are these in the levels, and if you take these out, you get big rewards for them. Again, it's optional though, but if you've got the power to handle it, it can be, and you think you're gonna have the health to take him out or the skill to avoid him, then there we go. Then you can get some rewards for this. So yeah, while you can speed up your character a little bit, you do move very slow. I have to admit, when I first started playing this game, I was kind of like, oh boy, I'm like well, as someone who plays a lot of roguelikes and shmups, I was like, I'm really used to something that moves a little bit zippier than this. And I think that might be a turnoff for some players. Personally, I got used to it because it's a question of how the pacing breaks down as a whole, right? So games where you move faster tend to have bigger levels. The levels in this are smaller, so even though you're moving more slowly than you might in some other similar games, you're not it doesn't really feel like you're wasting a lot of time. Like, it doesn't feel like because you're moving so slow that it's taking you forever to get anywhere and you're like, okay, we there yet? It's not like that at all. And I find that you do get used to it, and you will find after you've played a couple of levels and understand how this game likes to pace itself, that you won't find it that slow. And you won't find it that frustrating. That was my experience anyway, but it is something I wanted to point out, because the speed of this is definitely out of character for the genre, shall we say, or the 2 genres that this game is claiming to be a part of. So I actually found the boss, so he's down there. So I will show you that. Let me just throw some stardust into random things here. So there's also abilities and whatnot you can pick up that will give you passive recharge as well. You can see my health actually has a slight recharge on it. It's not very significant, but I do have one. So you can do that. And we are at the end of the level. There is more that I can discover, but I'm not going to bother here because I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. You'll also occasionally find these, the Celestial Forges. This is where you pick up those fusions I told you about. So as you can see, they all generally have a good and a bad. There are some that are only good, like this one, but they're not generally as powerful. So this one makes my projectiles 30% bigger, but 10% slower. That seems pretty cool to me. I like that. So let's hit the boss. And the game does save as you go, so you can stop in the middle of a run, which is very nice. Not every roguelite allows you to do that. I like games that allow you to do that, who can respect your time and understand that sometimes you got to go before you're done, right? So you do have that means you can quit a run and come back to it later. Very much appreciated. So, okay, so we're going to get up here and we'll come across the boss and I'll show you what that looks like. The creatures in this are very interesting, I think. There's a lot of, it's all this darkness at the end of the universe is portrayed as very much demonic, as you can see. And I think the enemies that they have actually portray that very well. And some of these large bosses are just, yeah, well, this guy's basically like the Sarlacc pit, you know, or maybe a little bit of Cthulhu. So you may have gone, holy geez, that boss fight was awfully easy. I assure you it took me a while to get here. Part of this is because I've got a lot of upgrades applied. And that's the other thing. So you do upgrade, so you can bank your cores. I'll show you what that's about after. So Yes, you do get more powerful over time like you would in a standard roguelite. There's a lot of power-ups that you will acquire over the course of a run, and you manage your skills per run, but you also have permanent unlocks as well. That's why this is a roguelite. So the more you play and the more you level up your particular character, the generally easier things will get. I've never found this game unchallenging generally, but it will get a little bit easier as you go. So, and that's why the difficulty curve ramps so much. Like I said, I can walk through the first area pretty easily now, but this area is absolutely, like, it wrecks me pretty darn fast. And you can see there's a lot more environmental hazards here. There's a lot more, a lot of the passive enemies in this are way nastier than some of the other ones are. It's very interesting how this works, and I kind of like the way the progression works, because at least based on that initial menu, I think there's only 3 areas per playthrough, but with how hard these are, I have a feeling it'll take you a while to get through those. And then after that, there's what's called dark mode, which is the harder mode. So I think there can be a decent amount of replay value in this, especially if you want to try all the different characters out, because there are a lot of variations between them. You know, the initial character you start with is kind of a well-balanced one. This character has really, really fast weapons, which I really like. The third character, Titan, which I've played some of too, is extremely slow and extremely large, so it's very easy to hit, but its weapons are brutal. It's a tank, effectively. So this is going to appeal to a wide variety of different play styles, and at least with the 3 characters I've unlocked during my first impressions, I feel like they definitely all have their own style and will accommodate a lot of different players. I don't think there's necessarily the one character that you really have to play as in this to be able to get through it. They were very good at designing it in a way that's balanced to a lot of different play styles. So I can always, you know, I always like that as well. I like roguelikes that give you options for sure. So yeah, I'll admit, when I first played this and I saw the speed, I was kind of turned off of it, but I really warmed to it. And it's a very different kind of roguelike. I love this story and, you know, concept idea of this is about the heat death of the universe, and you're a lone sentient star trying to breathe life back into a universe that's dying. And I think it's a really cool concept and makes for some kind of gameplay that we haven't really seen in roguelikes before. And I think that's commendable, because this genre is a dime a dozen these days. There's no doubt about that. But I really like and respect any entries. Oh, see, yeah, I got smoked. Second area, don't play. And then, of course, so you see I've leveled my character a little bit more, and the cores you pick up give you these things. So you see they give you, these are additional drops that you can unlock that can show up in additional runs. Same with utility skills. You can do passive tree upgrades, and then at certain points you'll also be able to unlock other characters as well. So you can see these are all the things I've unlocked so far. Already a fair number of things. So there's a lot, obviously a lot of customizability in here. And man, I got a lot of cores in my last couple runs. That's pretty sweet. One of these is 75 though, so that's going to take a while. But let's unlock some more of these utility drops. I like that idea. So there you go. And now those things are unlocked for future runs, and you can look at your progression as you go. So I've gotten 51% of the unlocks so far, so that's not too bad. So yeah, that's basically the idea with this. I think this is pretty cool. So you see, this is the tanky guy, and you can see why. A lot bigger, a lot slower, but he brings a fire, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I have been enjoying this, and I probably will try to complete at least one run of it. I really wasn't sure what I was going to think about it once I saw the speed of it, but you trust me, you do get used to it, and once you do, you can really appreciate the unique and different things that this is bringing to the genre. And I think roguelike people will like it. I think if you're a hardcore shmup player who's not into roguelikes, this will not sell you on anything. Oh, wow, I can get to the boss right here. Why not? This will not sell you on roguelikes if you're only into shmups. I mean, it's got shmuppy ideas to it, but it's definitely not a shmup. But if you like both genres like I do, you can look at this and go, ooh, I like that fusion. And that has definitely been my experience so far. So, yeah, that is the last... what is it again? The Last Sunshine Rekindled. I was about to say the Last Star Rekindled, although I'm like, no, that's not right. But it is out now, only on PC at time of recording, I believe. If not, the little title down below will tell you. If you're looking for something different in terms of roguelikes, I definitely can suggest this. Not going to be for everybody, but you know, give it a try. It's something different, and I think fans can find some cool stuff to enjoy with this. And it's a game that I was initially not sold on, and then it really warmed itself to me. So I think that, you know, that's always a good sign. So thank you for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, please do all the normal YouTube things. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, does this interest you? Do you like the ideas that this is putting down? What are some other roguelikes or roguelites that have come out lately that are doing something different that you found really, really cool and interesting? I would love to hear about those, because this is a genre that is, needless to say, not lacking in options. So there's no doubt about that. And you can also follow me over at twitch.tv/pxabstraction for multiple variety streams a week. I cover indie and retro stuff over there, including a lot of things that you won't see over here on YouTube. We have a fantastic community there, and I would love to see you be a part of it. Thanks again, everybody, and I will see you on the next Indie Ramble. You folks have yourselves a good one. Take her easy. And I got smoked again. The harsh mistress.